Hello, everyone. I'm back, and I'd like to do something a little different this time. Excuse me if you hear fireworks going off in the background. I'm not in danger, don't worry. Um, but I'd like to read my very short story that I have put up on Substack. It's currently the only thing that I have on my Substack. Most of the other writing that I've made available to people is on my old WordPress, and I still love WordPress as a platform um, for a few reasons. One of which is that it still leaves a lot of very interesting customization that you can do on your page. Um, so I would never abandon WordPress, but I'm putting it on Substack because there are people there, and it has good a better chance of someone just kind of finding it or something like that. uh but yeah, I Substack, I don't quite agree with the platform as much as I did on WordPress. I guess partially because it gives you this kind of feed um that is looks like some kind of weird, like, Twitter knockoff, where you're seeing these really bizarre things the strange inhabitants of Substack are saying to you, and I don't I really I gotta say, I really don't like a lot of the things that get popular on Substack. I think I'm not really in tune with that crowd. Um, there's some good stuff on there, though. I always love Sarah's stuff. That's always, very good and interesting. And uh, there's a few others, I think. Um, but yeah, it's not, you know, maybe for my next story, I'll put it on LiveJournal, and as just like a statement on something, or I don't know. I was going to write a blog post at one point about LiveJournal because it's truly an amazing experience to use LiveJournal. Like, you can search and you can find, like, pictures of people at, like, anime cons from 2005, because it's literally like everything is just archived there for that long. And then in, like, the 2010s, it was bought by, like, a Russian oligarch or something. And um, yeah, I mean, these, like, pictures that people would share in, like, 2005, 2008, and I mean, that is just intensely beautiful. Nothing like that, or it's very rare to find something like that on Substack, but uh, maybe I can create a space for it. We'll see. So I'm going to read my story. It's called The Furniture Man. The Furniture Man. I am free to leave. I am free to leave. Deep below the city, there was a cave where the furniture man lived alone. There was no light other than a small opening through which the furniture man entered and exited. Most of his home was unknown to him, as darkness overburdened light in the vast expanse. The furniture man explored damp corridors, shuffling on all fours and feeling forward through miles of eroding limestone. Up to a certain point, stalagmites became familiar. To touch wet rock was to understand something, or at least to know it. But there was always a drop-off. The cave was impossibly large. No barriers were ever final, and seemingly indefinite memorization was a task too pointless even for the furniture man. Every day the furniture man was called to the city by way of smoke signals. In early hours, black smoke would pour through the cave entrance and into furniture man's throat and lungs, alerting him that his presence was requested in the reliquary. Before the sun began to rise, he would crawl from his cave up various fire escapes and through a couple of air ventilation systems, riding an elevator for 2 hours and walking to the last door at the end of a silent hallway, always to the same room on the highest floor of the second tallest skyscraper. Inside the reliquary, all surfaces had been painted a regal purple that was furnished by a circular black carpet in the center of the floor and a single cylindrical light fixture on the ceiling. The reliquary belonged to a collector interested in unremarkable objects. Whenever the furniture man obeyed the smoke signal, he would enter into an agreement and become an unremarkable object in the collector's reliquary. Hours spent in the reliquary were tedious and slow. As an unremarkable object, the furniture man was to stand motionless in the center of the room and wait for passing observers to stop by. On busy days, the medium-sized room would be crowded nearly to capacity with a line of observers out the door. None ever seemed eager to enter, always nonchalantly swaying as they waited in place with faces of placid boredom. Observers would walk aimlessly around the empty space of the reliquary for short intervals before exiting in silence. When reliquary hours concluded, the room would go dark. As the furniture man made his way back to the cave, glimpses of shining skyscrapers against the night appeared idyllic, incomprehensible, and evil. Black obelisks raised by an unseen will. Process gave structure to furniture man's life, but process was foreign to his mind and body. The commands came from somewhere else. Biological material was animated by something artificial and alien, willing motionlessness from muscles made for movement. The furniture spirit took shape like cancer, slowly displacing even his name. As the discomfort became apparent, the furniture man learned to live his process. As the discomfort became permanent, the furniture man learned to live in his process by allowing numbness to overtake what was left. But the numbing of awareness was only a delay, pushing all material, resisting standardization into dreams, one last unprocessed refuge. Every dream was different, but certain words and images rang out again and again. "I am free to leave," the furniture man would hear himself say as he floated through gray clouds. Circles of bald and decrepit angels would trail behind him, their skin sagged and their white robes decorated in stains. Their white molting wings flapped hurriedly like wounded insects, and they would stare with unblinking black eyes, answering back in a wailing chorus as if correcting him. "Only suicide will save you." The furniture man continued on, floating up faster and faster above the atmosphere. He saw the earth below him, locked in a single world process, something incredibly sad to the furniture man. The earth was all one fixture, altogether unremarkable. The elderly angels hovered beside him, screaming and sobbing. Chains! Chains! Wrapped in chains! Soon there was a stirring on the sad planet. Processes were thrown aside to make way for crusades. Deeper chaos broke higher order, and child armies marched the surface of the globe, uprooting all that had stood before. The furniture man squinted his eyes as he continued to float higher into black nothingness, leaving the angels below him. He saw swarms of child soldiers destroying furniture of all kinds. The army made massive bonfires out of wooden tables and chairs, sweeping furniture off the planet in wave after wave. The children began to howl and sing as the furniture man drifted further away, the newly liberated planet getting smaller and smaller until it disappeared in the darkness. This would usually be the point at which the furniture man would wake up. I am free to leave. That was the furniture man. I hope you enjoyed it.